Welcome back to the channel. I've been fortunate enough and lucky enough to get my hands on the brand new Axiom Simon line Aspect. And what Simon wanted out of this disc was a more stable Tesla, something he could trust a little bit more. And so I obviously brought some Teslas out to compare them to, but I also brought some PDs. Axiom doesn't really have a PD-esque disc. The closest thing that Axiom has to a PD is a Defy, and it's an 11 speed. It doesn't feel the same. It's just not quite the same. And then I also brought out, which I think is going to be the closest thing to this disc, is a Innova Thunderbird, which is a 9502, and that's what this is. So we've got a lot of discs to compare, but I just cannot wait to throw this thing. And so that's immediately what we're going to do, is we're just going to start chunking discs. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Here we go. Before I start throwing, I do want to compare some profiles. First off, let's just look at the profile here. It's actually not completely bored flat, but it is kind of flat. It has a little bit of dome to it. We'll compare it to a Tesla, and this is actually Simon's Mockingbird Tesla. How they look, I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell. It actually looks extremely similar to a Tesla as far as dome goes. This is a Thunderbird, and it definitely has more dome, quite a bit more dome, you can tell there. It's quite a bit more dome. And then a PD, the bottom half of the disc looks very similar, but the wing, just more dome on the PD as well. We got the first throw ever, for me anyways, with the Aspect. Okay, all right. I really like that disc. That flew really straight, and it had a good finish to it. I got one more here. We'll try it out. This tail right to left wind is probably making these things more stable than what they really are. Oh my gosh, that is so good. Holy cow. Dude, that was, I don't know if it had the distance a PD has, but it reminds me of a PD. There we go. That one's extremely close to the Aspect. That was really, really close to the flight, but that, like I said, that Tesla is very much a lot more overstable than other runs of Teslas. All right, so this is what I think is gonna be the closest thing to the Aspect here. The old Thunderbird. That is so freaking close. Yeah. I'm gonna throw them again. I'm not gonna throw the Teslas again because they really are basically more overstable Teslas. But I will throw the PDs and the Thunderbird one more time. The Thunderbird was actually like 10 feet away from this one and about 7 or 8 feet further. So I think some of that contributes to the amount of dome on the Thunderbird. That's one of the things, if I could change on this disc, is I wish it had a little bit more dome. Not a lot, just a little bit more dome. There's one other thing I want to change, I'll tell you here in a minute. I'll throw the Aspects first, and then we'll throw the PD. I'm gonna try to put this on a little bit of Anheuser. That's actually perfectly flat. Golly. Okay, that's gonna be a good amount of distance out there. Okay. All right, let's see if we can throw some PDs. Yeah, I felt, golly, quit dying. My gosh. My gosh, dude, halfway through the flight, both of them just fell out of the sky. Thunderbird. They are basically Thunderbirds. Man, they're basically Thunderbirds. I'm gonna go get them again. We're gonna forehand them. All right, so after grabbing them, the Aspect was actually out the furthest. I do believe that the two PDs would have outflown it if they wouldn't have fell out of the sky. But either way, the aspect was actually out the furthest. So other than changing the amount of dome they have, these two discs specifically are 161. The white one's 161 and the blue one is 163. So Axiom MVP, if you're listening, can you please make me an aspect with a little bit more dome and a little heavier? That'd be awesome, thank you. They're probably thinking, I don't care about this guy. I'm not making them jack diddly squat. These discs are for Simon. But anyways, hey, you can take it or leave it. But here we go. We're gonna do some forehands with them. Here we go. Wow, that is actually a very good flight. Wow. Wow, that was actually really, really good. Oh, okay, I like it. My gosh. Okay, I think I'm gonna dig forehanding those. Man, I am. A couple PDs. I'm a forehand. It's forehand old Pinky here. See what she's all about. Oh, man, about the same flight. Got more distance, but similar flight. I'm gonna go ahead and backhand this one more time because I didn't have the greatest of backhands. Because I didn't have the full flight of this on a backhand and I want to get it for you guys. Here we go. Oh, see, that's gonna be so hard to beat. My gosh, that went out there. The PDs actually are a little bit less stable than those two specifically are less stable than the aspects. I got a little bit of turn, and then towards the end of the flight, they're not actually hooking up as much. They're kind of hyzering and settling instead of hyzering and skipping. And the aspects are definitely more overstable. I think that part of the fact that the PDs fly further is because they're carrying further. They're not hooking up and cutting at the end of the throw. And so several reasons. One, they're 10 speeds, they have more dome, and they're not as overstable, so I'm definitely gonna get more distance out of the PDs. But I'm in a real dilemma here. I'm in a real dilemma. After quite a few throws, we're in a little bit of a pickle here, Dick. What that is I do not know what to put in my bag. The Tesla is for sure gonna come out of the bag. What it gets replaced with is still a question mark. I really love the aspect. Like, I really like it from the few throws I had. I love that it has the bite at the end, but I really love the PD. The PD is such a good disc. It's hard for me to take either one out of the bag. And I know they're not quite the same because really the closest thing to an aspect is a Thunderbird. And I'm not gonna bag the Thunderbird, and I just don't know which one I want. And you could argue that they both could go in the bag. The problem with that is I'm trying to consolidate the discs, the molds in my bag. I just want to have less molds. And if you beat in this a little bit, it'll probably fly really similar to a PD, but I really love the distance I get out of the PD, and I love how versatile it is. I can put it on hyzer and just hold the hyzer and ride it. I can put it on a little anhyzer, kind of flex out. And this will do the same. I just don't know. They have different feels. This is a 10 speed, this is a 9 speed. So I don't know it's that big of a problem to have, but I'm still unsure on which one I will bag. One of the two are going in my bag for sure. Just don't know which one. On a side note, the aspect flies like what I was hoping the Boca would fly like, just slower. Aspect's faster. I was hoping the Boca would fly like it because that would fit a great slot that they don't think they have, but this does a very good job as well. So I don't know, just food for thought, I guess. And then we're gonna end the video with throwing a few final discs. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the button. And then if you want any new plastic, go check out Disc Golf Deals, head over there, get your stuff from them, use the link below, get 10% off your order. We're gonna go in the video with front hand, backhand, backhand. If you haven't seen Key and Peele's little skit where front hand, backhand, it's pretty funny, you should check it out. But I'm gonna call this a front hand, not a forehand. We're gonna go front hand with the old aspect. Man, that's good. That is a good flight. Came out a little wobbly, but it's a very good flight. Now, aspect on a backhand. On backhand, backhand. Yeah, I mean, that's a good flight, man. It's going to be a very hard choice on what goes in the bag. It really is. And at this point, I don't know. Thank you guys for watching. See you next time. Peace.